Hey guys, welcome to the MC Anime Podcast. We cover anime, geek culture, Japanese aesthetics, and Asian studies. We are a multi-fandom podcast, and you can expect to hear topics in your favorite hobby or fandom activity potentially. You can find MC Anime on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, please check out mcanimepodcast.com, our website. Furthermore, stay tuned in for another episode.
Yeah, I love Yu Yu Hakusho. Again, one of my first animes up there with like Inuyasha, and it's just like the opening song is one of the best songs ever. You can just play that
Yeah.
and people get in a good mood. And then also, I love the characters. I have like the original mangas and everything. I love Yusuke. I thought he was super cool as a kid, and I think like if you like fantasy, you like good fight scenes, and you also like the power of friendship, but not it being overwhelming. Yu Yu Hakusho is really good for that,
Oh yeah,
and he has
definitely.
great style too.
Number 51, The Vision of Asuka Balone. TV14, Action Adventure, 7.8, 1996. Asuka Balone. This is a really well-rounded anime. Fantasy, mecha, romance, and adventure. What's more to manage all these aspects well? The characters are well fleshed out. Overall, each gets enough screen time. My only complaints are with the slow early episodes and some slight issues with character design. Really solid, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend to anyone. So watch it.
Oh, wow, I'm actually surprised to see this one on your list. But I mean, I
Why?
guess it has. I don't know. I really didn't think this would be on here. I wasn't expecting this one to pop up, but
Oh,
it's still
okay.
dope. Yeah, no, I just didn't expect it. So that's actually a really like refreshing um introduction. That's cool. Okay.
So number 50, Kaguya. TVMA adventure drama 8.1 on the rating. Anime puts forth fascinating philosophical questions, terrific series for its plot, well fleshed out sci-fi world, unique love story set in a world where it's possible to store memories in databanks and transfer those memories to new bodies. This has been made death and irrelevant. However, Kaguya uses an animation style that put a lot of people off. For those who barrel through the subject to a truly unforgettable anime, highly recommend to experienced anime fans looking for something unique. And when I mean experience, the animation style is slightly putting off, but if you watched enough, you should get the style and not be turned off by it.
Yeah, I don't mind the art style, but I also like shows like Midnight Gospel that's on like Netflix that kind of has like a similar drawing style.
Yeah.
Or if you like kind of like a OG like cartoons, like the older Walt Disney ones. If you can handle that art style, this shouldn't be too bad for you. But it is
Yeah.
very different. It is
Mhm.
definitely different.
And most of the time, when I watch anime, animation is not off-putting to me. It's the story. So the story is enjoyable. Animation is fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I think people have some preferences on which ones they prefer. Like for me, I don't really like the giant clan kind of like eyes that anime used to do for a really long time in the early 2000s. But but I can see why some people would look at this one and they'd be like, it's too wacky. It's not my
I
style.
mean, I only look at the story. So if the animation is off-putting, who cares? I just enjoy it for the story content. So number
Yeah.
49, The 12 Kingdoms, 2002. I believe it's still maybe ongoing or slightly ended. Animation, adventure drama, number 8 on rating out of 10. Great story, great characters, brilliant adventure. Anime many have tried to imitate, but most have failed. Action, adventure, fantasy that a few have equaled and even fewer have surpassed. Highly recommend to fans of the fantasy genre. If you're watching any ongoing anime or fantasy for that matter, have enjoyed some recently, and then please reconsider watching this. The 12
This one
Kingdoms
is
is an immensely enjoyable journey.
hmm. This one's actually on my like watch list with so many other animes. I might. There's so many on there. I'm so sorry. I keep adding more. I've literally just added like five from your list, but maybe I'll move it up. Um, because I, if you're saying it's that good, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. Because I like the visuals for it regardless. But yeah, it's there's a few before it, but gotta get watched now. It's rated so
Yeah,
highly.
true. Number 48, Inuyasha, 2000 to 2004, TV 14, action adventure, 7.9 on the rating. This is another Ruko Takahashi anime series. Funny enough, her most well-known anime, perhaps because it's the most recent. Ruk, Ruk, Rukio combined the elements that made brilliant anime like Mason Hataki Romance and Rama One Half comedy in Inuyasha. For the most part, it worked. It certainly has a good watch, despite being a little long on the long side. P.S. Be sure to watch the continuation series to this, the 26 episodes called Inuyasha The Final Act. You sort of have to, as the original anime was left without an ending. The final act finally gave closure to the series.
Yeah, I mean, Inuyasha was my first, like my very first anime. Um,
Yeah.
so it's definitely higher on my personal list, but there are parts where the story can like slow down and lag, but you have to I really do appreciate how they kind of get you completely immersed in the fantasy world. So it's a
Yeah.
really good anime. Most people have at least heard of it or seen it. So if you haven't watched it yet, I would give it a shot.
So, pretty good overall. Can't complain. I think I specifically watched this because it had, what, over 100 episodes? Closer to maybe, what, 200? Not
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, multiple movies.
Yeah. So, number 47, Natsume's Book of Friends, 2008, and believe might be slightly off now. 24 minutes, animation comedy drama, 8.1. Ah, Intimidator, an imitator of Mushi Mushi. That may sound like a little harsh, but it's uncanny how close the basic plot and structure is to Mushi Mushi. Episodic that deals with a male lead that can see the entities that remain invisible to most people. Big difference that Mushi is slightly more artistic, and where the viewer has to comprehend various themes, contemplate. Both are very good. If you enjoy one, what are the odds are highly probably you'll like the other. This anime is highly recommended to fans of Mushi Mushi.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one because I have seen Mushi Mushi, but not Natsume's Book of Friends. Hmm. Is
So
it finished?
I believe it might. So,
Hey, okay.
but that's putting it off because I don't exactly know. So, number 46, Revolutionary Girl Utina. TV 14, comedy drama, 8.1. If you were to take it to face value, RGU doesn't seem like anything that special. However, it quickly becomes obvious that Utina is once off and far deeper than meets the eye. You have the homosexuality. Didn't expect it to from one that led to be the children's anime. To tell the truth, the anime caught me off guard a number of times, particularly in later episodes. Nothing that I expected to be. It's actually a plus, fantasy action drama, but a strange one, very bold. And whether you love or hate it, it's certainly memorable.
Yeah, I like this anime. Um, I mean, I'm really into like magical girls and fantasy and
1997.
all of that. Yeah. And this was one that we mentioned back in our evolution of anime with the art styles
Yeah.
that was pinned as like one of the iconic ones that made a shift in the late 90s that
Yeah.
helped inspire the newer animes that we kind of see today and in the early 2000s. So I think it's worth at least giving it a shot and just seeing if you would be
Yeah.
into it. It's a gorgeous anime though.
Oh yeah. It's definitely worth a spot on the list. So 45. Number 45. Fighting Spirit. Fighting Fighting Spirit. 2002, 2002. PG, 20 minutes. Action comedy, 8.8 on IDMB. Do you like boxing? If yes, watch this. Do you like the Baki movies? If yes, watch it. Do you like the brilliant blending of action and comedy? If so, watch it. My only complaint is that the show is a slow starter. We're ashamed that many people drop it without giving it a fair chance. It really is their loss because they continue stuff like School Days.
Yeah, I like this anime. Um, well, oh, my
So,
brain blacked out for a moment. But yeah, Fighting Spirit. I thought it was just called Hajime no Ippo, but maybe it has two different names. But regardless, I don't know. I don't think it started slow. I thought it was like a good even pace. Like they really do
yeah.
fill out the story. And I will say that this is one of those animes where just because someone isn't the main character doesn't mean that they kind of get swept under the rug and don't matter.
Hmm.
They really do flesh out these characters and the fighting scenes and the way they explain stuff. It makes you want to take up boxing. Like it made me
Yeah.
want to get like get into the ring, lose, but still get into the ring. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd recommend it.
So pretty good. Definitely like that feeling aspect of sports. So it does pretty good. Number 44, Score of Rumble, 2004 to 2010. PG, comedy, romance, 7.8. Ask the typical anime fan of today which comedy series is the best. The vast majority will reply School Rumble. I don't disagree with that opinion, but personally, anime like GTO, Great Teacher of Mazuka, Rama one Half, and City Hunter appealed more to me. That said, School Rumble is a great comedy, but stereotypically set in school, stereotypical characters. Reason why School Rumble excels is that the comedy is generally very good. Consider School Rumble to be perhaps the greatest modern comedy, better than Tortura. Only reason that it's relatively low on the list was because of season 2 wasn't as great as the first. But hey, who's judging here?
It's
7.8 on the rating as well.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like a little bit of judging, a little bit. Um, I like Rumble. I thought it was fine. Like I don't I don't particularly think it was that memorable to me. Um, but I don't think it's a bad anime. I think it's like a fun
Hmm.
watch. Like, yeah, you just enjoy the story. I think also for maybe because like I'm not a huge fan of slice of life type animes, regardless of if you add some fighting into them. Sometimes I'm just tired of being in the school. And
Yeah,
that is the premise of this show. So
yeah, true. But it's really creative with the comedy aspect, so it does have a little higher than Totoro. No, Totora. So, Totora. So, or Cladden for that matter.
hmm.
So, number 43, Elfin Lied, 2004. TVMA, action drama, rated 8 on the rating scale. Elfin Lied, extreme violence, high amounts of graphic gore, and a hot, mutilated chick that scrolls around naked. Maybe a bit simplistic, but it's too far from the truth. Elfin Lied has become huge in the medium anime due to the obvious effort to shock and entertain for the most part. It exceeded in doing that. First episode is widely mentioned as the most violent single episode in the anime in the medium. Be sure to check it out. It's certainly not for kids though, so viewer discretion
No,
advised.
no, definitely not for children. I think I think it has a great story, and I really did enjoy watching Elfen Lied, but I definitely wasn't prepared. I don't know why, but I just didn't know a lot about it going into it. So you can say that I was surprised by the violence
Yeah,
just a little bit. I was like, but the cover is so pretty that you wouldn't expect it to go immediately left.
and
Yeah.
I'm very fond of the introduction scene. That's like a
Mm.
very eerie music, kind of soft setting, but like kind of reminiscent of what Elfen Lied is. And I specifically watched it because I wanted gore like anime, so Elfen Lied was definitely one of those.
Um, the fact that you went into it for that reason probably prepared you better than it did for me. But I do think that their storytelling is really great in the show. So it made up for it. It's fine.
I don't
I
know.
appreciate it.
I mean, I don't know. I can just watch an anime if it has gore. Doesn't I was like, oh, cool. Now, how they do the gore, that is really what makes the anime good. So, pointless gore, there is no point to pointless gore. I'm sorry, but like, I am not a maniac. I actually enjoyed a good story.
Noted. Got it.
Number 42, Phantom, uh, Requiem for the Phantom. TVMA, 25 minutes, action crime, 7.6 on the scale out of 10. IDMB. Solid anime. Ongoing episodes are very interesting. Uh, it's about a man who has the life of assassin thrust upon him. Very much action oriented. The story is well above average. Recommend this to any big action fans, someone who wants an anime about assassins.
Yeah, I would say like this one is definitely a bit more serious. Like the newest spy anime is like Spy Family that's out right now. So if you like that one, this is not that. This is it's not as
Yeah,
like great and bubbly and fun. It does have more serious themes. You kind of feel bad for the guy, like he's not
yeah.
having a great time. But it is a
He's
very good
looking for life
anime.
in assassinhood and has to do good or die in the process.
Yeah. Uh, kill or be killed, literally.
Exactly.
And I got sucked into the story. I thought it was really good. So I would definitely say give it a watch.
So. Number 41, Spice and Wolf. TV 14, 24 minutes. Adventure fantasy, 7.9 on the rating scale. Extremely dialogue heavy anime, especially in the beginning. Well, certainly not for everyone. Story about merchant trade in medieval times, often a lesson in economics, and for those interested in somewhat different, anime is worth watching. The interaction between the characters are arguably what makes this series special. Adventure fantasy romance, while maybe fable just to be prepared for a lot of dialogue, but doesn't take away from the story nonetheless.
Yeah, I unfortunately really didn't get into this one. I don't know what it was. It might be just like what you were saying that it's just so dialogue heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was watching it when I was younger, I don't know. It just I could watch it or I could have it in the background, but I could never like sit there and completely focus on the show. And
Yeah,
who knows? Maybe if I rewatch it now, it'll kind of pull me in because I do like more dialogue heavy shows now. But
yeah.
yeah,
And
this would
also
be
another
much
thing to
farther
mention:
on my list.
adventure fantasy. Spice of Wolf basically takes on a trader and a deity for harvest. So that's the connection. So that's the fantasy aspect. So keep in line with that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good
So
tip. That's fair. Yeah.
number 40, Super Dimension Fortress Macross, 1982 to 1983. PG, 25 minutes. Action adventure, 8.5 out of 10. Don't let that cover art fool you, because it has very well animated series for its time. Most famous mecha series ever made. It's the one that pretty much defined the genre, in my opinion, still does. In my honest opinion, it's every bit equal with Mobile Suit Gundam. I enjoyed both, but I placed my cost higher because it felt it would appeal to a wider audience. I highly recommend the anime. P.S. Be sure to watch this version and not the god-awful robot tech version. Honestly, the dubbing and changes they made to the story were horrendous. Watch the original 1982 subtitle version.
Okay. Strong feelings in that ending there. But I won't say that you're wrong. I watched a little bit of this because when we were doing the animation styles, this
Yeah.
kind of came up, and I know you love like mecha. Um,
Hmm.
I'll say it's good. Like I think the fighting sequences and like the robots I think are also very cool. Even though I'm not a huge fan of mecha, I can still recognize art. So I will give
Super
it his
Dimensional
flowers.
Cross. Wasn't Super Dimensional Cross the one you ordered for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, because like it has like
I
it has so
remember
many
something
like
being the
series.
item.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the time it gets to like the one that's like in 2010 or whatever that it got released, that one's just like super girly and like you're like, what happened? How did we go from this kind of like darker aesthetics to now it's all like bubblegum pink pop like girl group kind of look and it was great. My friends loved it.
Yeah.
They were like,
Oh my god.
what is this? Why is this? Play the next episode.
Oh my god. Well, glad you enjoyed it and we were able to reflect on that a little bit for previous
Yeah.
episode. Number 39, Death Parade. TVMA 2015 drama mystery. 7.9. Death Parade was a fascinating anime in recent times, judging the true nature of people through a series of tests and games. There is no linear story, really. The biggest strength of the series is the premise that most episodes are standalone. However, thanks to some fine execution, this anime was actually definitely more than hit than miss. So recommend to those looking for something a bit different.
Hmm. You know what? I'll give you that. Yeah. I liked a little bit of Death Parade. I don't know why. I think maybe because it doesn't have like a linear story, it was kind of hard for me at first when watching it. Um, but you do get into it.
Yeah,
It's definitely higher on your list than I would have it. Um, and it's definitely different. I will say that. But it is a good anime.
yeah.
And if you
So
like drama, then it's perfect as you try and piece
yeah,
together like what's going on.
oh yeah. Number 38, Eureka 7, 2005, 2006, TVMA, adventure drama, 7.8 out of 10. Eureka 7, one of the better mecha anime. A satisfying blend of drama, sci-fi, and romance. Certainly one of those anime that falls under the genre of must-see. Solid series. You won't regret watching it.
Oh, I honestly, I have always I've had positive mixed feelings about Eureka. Because when I watched it, I was younger and I was still a kid. So, like, it's just like you have this weird concoction of emotions where you're exploring this really cool universe because it's set like in the future with space and they're going to different places. So, you have
Hmm.
that cool aspect. There's mechas in it. Um, you have these very unique, fully fleshed out characters, even side characters. So I do think it's a really great show for people to watch and just kind of get to experience that world. But I don't know why. Like every time I think about Eureka 7, I'm just like, I enjoyed it, but you made me feel things. And I don't know if I was supposed to feel those things. Like I shouldn't have all these emotions as a child. Like Ed and Eddie was not doing this to me. What is happening to me? A roller coaster.
Trust me, from a film perspective and all this other stuff, I have a wide range of shows that I like and dislike. And even if I dislike it, I actually end up liking some aspects of it. So, I don't know. I'm not picky, but I'm definitely very complex in how I like shows. And if it's any point in the next one that complies that theory, it would definitely test it. Number 37, Serial Experiments Lane, TV 14, like 316 minutes in the animations overall. Drama horror, 8.1 on the scale. Let me start off. Most positive aspect of the series. The music for the opening theme is nothing short of haunting. It washes over you like a lucid dream. The concept of the anime is brilliant and aims to raise physiological questions about your existence. We are, if mind, if anything, our bodies hold back in some aspects, respects. If I could imprint myself into your mind, the internet, the wild, would you do it? That's the positive aspects. While Sterling fails sometimes in the execution of the premise, a little convoluted, and as the series progresses, the message deteriorates to a small degree. The concept and philosophical questions this anime tries to raise in essence the blending of man and technology are much better than realized in the anime like Ghost in the Shell standalone. Complex, however, still a decent and interesting series. Definitely worth checking out.
I have not seen this one.
You have
Um,
not seen Serial Experiments Lane? What?
no, no, I have not seen this
Oh,
one.
you're missing out.
I have
Oh my
not.
god.
And the wild thing is that when I really do think about it, even though I'm not a huge slice of life person, I don't mind horror, but I really don't watch that many horror animes. I don't know why. It's not on purpose. It just is what it is. For some reason there is a lot of horror animes where I'm just like,
Well,
oh,
if you watch anything on this list and have not seen it, Serial Experiments Lane is the one you need to watch. Regardless of what, and you have your must watch list, this one you need to watch. I'm sorry.
I'm
It
sorry I'm
literally is from
disappointed you.
1992 and the early versions of 2000, but it really stands out a lot. You need to watch it. Not saying anything more. And that's the only one I'm urging you to watch so heavily. Because you
All
haven't.
right. All right.
Just start
I'm
it.
gonna
Just
watch
start
it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna leave the podcast now to watch it, but I will watch it. I'll probably watch
Number
it tonight.
35, Death Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. The movie, yeah, 2019, ongoing, TVMA, action adventure, 8.5. It got pretty high on the list, but still not really best. So. Biggest anime hit the last few years, been here before, as every few years the industry churns out something that becomes so popular even people only have passing interest in hearing of the name, like Attack on Titan, AOT, Sword Art Online, SCO, One Punch Man might be considered previous examples of this trend. The problem with these series is due to the high expectations, they often wind up disappointing. Demon Slayer is nothing groundbreaking, nothing we haven't seen 1,000 times before. However, its slow fleshing out the characters and story potential for something special remains. The story ensures about a boy setting up to fight the demons in order to find a cure for his sister, who has been turned into a demon herself. All-rounder with all good action, comedy, and adventure. It would make for a good starter anime for people new to the medium, so I give it props. So, I recognize it, it's there, but it's only number 36.
Hmm. I mean, it's definitely higher on your list than I was expecting. I do enjoy Demon Slayer. I think it's one of those shows that you can just rewatch over and over. Mainly it's like it's got really good pacing.
Yeah.
The characters are really well done, and it's a genre that like you said, it's been done 1,000 times, but it's so beautifully well made, and the music and like score are very impactful too. So I think that it's a really really good like new school anime. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I love the characters. I think they're great. I've definitely cried while watching it. So
Mhm.
if you haven't seen it, I say give it a shot. Give it a chance because it'll probably get you like episode one.
Oh yeah. Number 35. Charcoal Feather Federation 2002 ongoing. TVPG, animation, drama, fantasy. 8 out of 10 on the IDV scale. Really curious anime. It's not easy to decipher. It's actually about, I believe, is one of those anime that encourages discussion about the meaning of life. It does raise some really fascinating questions about death, what comes after. It's executed in a slow-paced style. I recommend this if you are animation fans of Mushi. Mushi, and it's one of the few anime that actually takes a look at an angel character, not just an angel trope.
Hmm. This is one I've never heard of before, and even looking at like the cover art for it, never seen anyone actually bring up this show and talk about it. So that's actually hmm, very, very interesting. Um, I don't mind slow paced shows. I think they're actually pretty good with getting you to pay attention and kind of focus on the story being told. So let's add it to the list. There's always room. So neat. Yeah, I've never heard of
So,
this show before. Looks really pretty
okay.
though.
So, number 34, Full Metal Alchemist, 2003, 2004, TVPG, action adventure, 8.5 out of 10, IDMB. Oh, come on. You need some info on this. Really? This is one of the most well-known anime ever made. Anybody associating anime should be checking it out. Plus, there's a remake called Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I've gone with this for one reason that would make eons to explain. So just look up the title and then go from there. No big deal.
What a way to what like there's definitely people probably out there who maybe haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist. Or some people have usually seen like maybe either just Brotherhood or they've seen the original Full Metal Alchemist. I've seen both
If they're
and the movie.
oblivious to FMA, just go
I'm not
watch FMA. That's all I have to say.
okay, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna keep saying this and someone's gonna go watch the live action on Netflix and that's gonna be on you. That's gonna be on you because you're over
Ah,
here making them feel
well,
bad.
that's not
Like
the business.
it, but it is definitely a very good show. If you haven't heard of it, you've definitely probably seen some type of artwork for Full Metal Alchemist. Again, it's super popular.
And
So
you
even
can
if you
choose
haven't seen
FMA
it,
or FMA Brotherhood. It's totally up to you.
I mean, you could just lie and tell people you have. It's kind of like telling people you've seen Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or Bleach. Like
Yeah,
no one's going to assume you haven't. Um, so yeah.
that's
So if
true.
you haven't seen it,
The
watch it
more
in your
likely
whenever you get
chance
to
that
it.
you haven't, so maybe don't say you haven't watched it. Just to say, yeah, I know about it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if
Just
I watched it entirely. Just I've seen it a couple times. Just
yeah.
like
Don't
that.
tell people because clearly the reaction will not be great. But it's a very solid
Yeah.
anime. Whether you watch the original or you watched Brotherhood, the movie is also great to watch as well. And thankfully, Full Metal Alchemist doesn't require like you to watch the movies, to watch the movie to like see. what happens next or whatever because it's mainly a self-contained anime. So you could just watch the show and be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you won't really miss anything. So it's totally fine.
So, number 33, Claymore. TVMA, action adventure, 8 out of 10. Perhaps I'm a little sexist in saying this, but Kiramika, aka Claymore, is more of a guy's anime. Action adventure fantasy anime. Perhaps an effort was made to bring in a larger female audience by casting a female lead in Claire. However, is hugely comparable to Berserk in terms of fear and hack and slash action. Berserk was probably the tad darker of the two. Either way, highly recommend to fans of action and the fantasy genre.
Um, I've never heard of Claymore being thought of as a guy's anime, but I mean, I guess if you compare it to Berserk,
Definitely
I
not
could see that.
uh, magical John, magical girl genre, definitely. So
No, but I mean, I think it's I think it's a pretty solid show. I just never
yeah.
categorized it as like for the boys. That's what I would definitely say for like Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, this is a man show. But like I didn't think about that about Claymore. So thank you for slapping that label on there.
Now you can have that image. It's like, oh gosh, I can't get this out of my mind now.
Just a bunch of dudes like screaming, yeah, and putting on Claymore. And I'm gonna be like,
Oh,
okay. All
oh
right.
my god. Number 32. Gurren Lagann, 2007, 2008, TV14, action adventure, 8.3 out of 10. Uh, TGL, the impossible to describe, off the scale action, sheer absurdity. This is an anime where characters dream and reach to do the impossible. Off to the chart of levels of epicness. Realism holds no merit here. This sums it up. I knew a man who said death smells us. All a man can do is smile back. Pats himself on the back, massaging managing to work in a relevant gladiator quote that can be applied on to this anime. Thanks.
Okay. I Gurren Lagann, you're right. It's an interesting concoction of like different themes and different genres that kind of peek in every now and then along with the action and adventure aspect of it because it's got like sci-fi, it's got a lot of sadness, there's romance. Um, but it's a very epic. Anime. I loved
Too
it the
good. But definitely up there. 31. Gungrave. 2000 TV14. Action crime 7.10 out 7.9 out of 10. Fantasy version of Scarface pretty much captures its essence. Gungrave is made by the same Trigun brilliant character in Vosh. Perhaps where Gungrave surpasses its predecessor, its brilliance of the ending
like
Well,
pique my interest. But
maybe
not
uh maybe it's just 2007. TVPG anime. Let's see, action adventure. 8 point comparisons with like the 12 Koruki, the 12 Kingdoms, which features later on this list. Invincible when it comes to the anime, perhaps is a little simplistic, but Guardian of the Spirit remains a fantastic adventure fantasy anime. Did you like Rurouni Kenshin? Or did you like Claymore? Did you like any of the Studio Ghibli films? If you answer yes to any of these, go watch this anime now. Well done, character-driven anime with some highly impressive action scenes.
I did not finish this one. It not for any particular reason. I think this is one of those shows where you watch multiple animes at one time and eventually one of them you just don't finish, and this was one of mine. So, but it was good from what I remember. It was just like a
True.
it was a fun show. But I think I was watching other like action animes at the same time as well, so it just
Yeah.
didn't hold me like as
It's okay.
tightly.
Only one of
Yeah.
us has to watch all of these in this entirety. It's fine.
I mean, this is your list, so I would hope that you had watched all of them and not you just throwing some in there and being like, whatever, I need a fill
Yeah.
slot. Um, but cool.
No, it took too long to do that. Uh, Number 29, Neon Genesis Evangelion, 1995 to 1996. The anime that ultimately cemented this medium's legacy and skyrocketed this popularity in America, most of the Western world. Neon Genesis Evangelion, while starting out rather simplistic, quickly develops into a roller coaster ride of epic and profound proportions. Words can't describe it admittedly. I would say I can see why NGA is held in such high esteem, and for most part, I think it delivers its iconic status it holds so close to the heart.
Um, this one is definitely like always going to hold as being one of the greatest like animes of all time, and
Yeah.
since it influenced so many animes that we have now, and just that kind of like
Mm-hmm.
sci-fi realm, in the way that we've like looked at drama and storytelling, it's just so good, and it's it bends the mind and bends reality. It's great. It's a great anime. The movies are good as well, and so you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
watch all of them, but I would recommend uh watching Neon Genesis at least, just the
Exactly.
series up front. Yeah.
You heard from Leah. She's given a full endorsement for Neon Genesis Evangelion. Listen to her. Maybe the marketing will pay off.
I don't even think it needs to be marketed at this point. If you
Yeah,
go to a convention, you're going to see Neon Genesis basically at every stand,
yeah. It's just that
everywhere.
that's just that good in some aspects. Number 28, Vama One Half, 1989. TV14 action comedy, 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. One of the four Rukia Takahashi anime of the list. The other three being Mason Akiri, Inuyasha, and Yusei Yatsua. Sora. Women One Half is probably the most fun of all of them. Ridiculous silly concept means that the anime provides a lot of side-hooding laughs during its run, a fun cast of characters, some very memorable moments, and arguably the most amusing anime on this list. This anime is a sure thing if you're looking for a pleasant watch.
This is one of those animes where I'm like, I don't have a single bad memory
Yeah,
like ever happening with ramen. One and a half.
highly
So
amusing.
yeah, it's just a good show. It's so funny. It's so funny, and it's still funny even now when I watch it. So, um, if you want to watch like an old school like classic, this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, it definitely delivers. And it's up there. Amusing content, entertainment, good vibes. Can't complain. So, ooh, here we go. Number 27, Darker Than Black. 2007, 2010. TVMA, action drama. 7.7 on the scale out of 10. How can an anime with so many flaws make this list? Well, there's a few anime on this list that would fall under that question. Uh, DTB is certainly one of them. But why you ask? Well, it's one of those anime that just dives right in. It's very confusing at the beginning. Not to mention, it takes time to have them emotionally invested in the characters. However, Darker Than Black, it's good. It's very good. Well directed anime, superpowers, suspense, mystery, and interesting anti-hero character. Definitely for fans of Death Note and Code Geass.
Um, this one isn't wouldn't be as high on my list. I do think it's a good show. Um, definitely drama, definitely makes you kind of think and reflect on some things, especially with the character
Yeah.
being an anti-hero. I thought it was a good story. I really did like the animation. I thought that the animation was really nice. Um, but yeah, it definitely has a more serious kind of tone to it. So it may
Yeah.
not be everyone's cup of tea, but I would still
Yeah.
say maybe watch the first few episodes and see
Yeah.
if you can fall into it. But it is
It's
TVMA, so definitely for
it
older
does
audiences.
on a couple episodes to get into it. Um, Number 26. Very fond memories of this anime. Love it a lot. Black Lagoon, 2006 TVMA action adventure, 7.9 out of 10. Simply the greatest straight up action anime ever made. No tricks, no fancy elements, just great action. Wherever the main character is really good to ever live. Owns all the chicks of anime and BA characteristics, and most of the characters for that matter. Whether a dual pistol wielding, cigar smoking, foul mouthed, whiskey drinking, cold hearted killer. You can't get any better. And you know what? She's better than the main character who just is a weakling. I can't say anything more.
Yeah, that's pretty on point. It's a great show. Again, if you like Machiko, then you'll definitely love Black Lagoon.
Yeah, but
And
Levi should be the main character. I'm sorry, but
oh yeah,
Rock,
no one
Rock
has
is
ever said otherwise.
yeah,
No one has ever said otherwise, but it is definitely a good show. A lot of action. Um, you're definitely going to get sucked in, and you'll want to see what Revy does next. So I say watch it. There's no reason
yeah,
not to. I
it's
mean,
pretty
besides if you're
good.
a younger listener, do not watch it. It's TVMA.
And Black Lagoon kind of got me in my early days of blogging, so can't really complain there. Oh boy. Number 25, Romeo and the Black Bullets. 1995, TVG, Drama Family, 8.6 out of 10. Romeo no Arasawa. It equals another drama anime that might find yourself sobbing at a story about a brave boy who sells himself at a chimney sweep to pay for the doctor for his father. Slow pace, triumph of drama, friendship, heartache. hardships, and character development, few anime have heart like this. Recommend to fans of Clannad and I Nike Co.
I haven't seen this one. It sounds super sad. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah,
with you, and
it's
especially if it's
Japanese
like,
history.
yeah,
It
it
definitely
sounds,
that 1800s vibe, even though 1995. It's kind of interesting.
yeah. But I feel like if you really want to get like your heart hurting, it does sound like it's perfect for that. So,
Yeah,
all right.
nice involvement, nice investment. 24 Code Geass action drama, 8.7 out of 10. Quality character development, sufficient story progression, adequate animation, some interesting questions surrounding morality, and some entertaining action scenes. Code Geass is often compared to Death Note for the intellectual intrigue. However, I'm not so sure about a strong case can be made for that. It does kind of give the illusions of it, but mostly just like back and forth who is right, not right, and who desires justice. So that's more of that aspect. Comparison between Light and Death Note and Lelouch from Code Geass are justified though in some basic merit, but not all the way.
Um, yeah, Code Geass is definitely one of those shows that I think a lot of people have either seen or it's already on their watch list. So watch it. You'll definitely get sucked in. You'll want to see how those twists and turns kind of play out and who how these characters are going to get from one thing to the next. And most people kind of have an idea of how the story goes. But if you haven't seen it yet, definitely give it a watch.
Yeah. So 23. One Punch Man, one of the most popular anime ever. The disinterested hero who saves the day. For some reason, people go nuts for this trait. Our hero, like the name suggests, is so powerful he can defeat every monster with a single punch. I don't love it as much as most do. It's watchable, particularly considering the small number of episodes. The popularity did play a factor in this one. The biggest charm of the series is unusual premise and comedic elements. Another fact to consider. The biggest flaw of this series is the second season. Production values dropped. The novelty and charm of the first season diminished. I recommend it to these looking for an action comedy that does not require a big time investment. 8.7 out of 10.
Hmm. I mean, you're not wrong. I did not like the second season. I'll admit to that. But I think that if you do decide to read the mangas, which are very, very funny, and I think even funnier than the show, it you can deal with it. Like you can still watch it, but I would definitely say like the first season can kind of be self-contained, and even if that's where you stop, you're still going to really enjoy yourself.
Yes. Number 22. Can't go on with this one. A really good classic. And a really good start to sports genre. Tomorrow's Joe, 1970 to 1971. 30 minutes action drama, 8.2 out of 10. Assuming no Joe is the perfect example of how when a simple story is told well, it can achieve greatness. On the surface, it might not sound like that special. Teenage orphan called Joe, who's living in the slums, is convinced to take up boxing as an alcoholic ex-boxing coach cheats him. It's how it's handled that makes it special. Due to the masterful touch of legendary director Osamu Dezaki, Asano no Joe is a fantastic example of brilliant storytelling and memorable characters. It's an older series, and the animation might be a burden for a lot of people, but who cares? It's worth making an exception for this one, and watching both seasons of it thoroughly. it's one of those animes that when you finish it, you're left with a feeling of loss, a feeling of devastation, and there's no more episodes.
You do sound like you went through an emotional, like, grieving stage once it was over. But like just like our other boxing anime that was on this list, Hajime no Ippo. I
Yeah.
like I like sports anime. I don't know why. It doesn't seem to matter what sport it is. I will watch it because I'm just easily like into seeing their growth and journey. And I think this one just has that interesting twist where you really get connected to these characters
Mm-hmm.
because it's not always good times and there's a lot that they have to work through. So
Yeah.
great addition to the list.
Yeah. Number 21. GTO, The Great Teacher Onizuka. 1999-2000. TVMA. Comedy drama. 8.5 out of 10. Solely not for younger viewers. GTO is simply hilarious, simply comedy. Aimed at older males, but if you're in a good form and don't take it too seriously, you will wind up having a good time. They got some great moral lessons, and anyone who enjoys ridiculous antics and highly eccentric characters who does this a go. This anime does exactly what it says on the tin. It entertains.
It entertains sounded questionable, but it is. I think the show is really funny. I don't know a single person who doesn't like it. But then again, everyone has varied taste. I definitely say give it a watch. And you'll probably end up having your own favorite moments from the show, like most people do.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty good. Number 20. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex TVMA Action Crime 8.5 out of 10. The series comes due to the success of the 1995 movie Ghost in the Shell. The anime TV series deviates to the field to the original movie. Does not quite have the same dark tone, however. Great watch, own right. This anime has exceptional production values, a strong soundtrack, but its greatest appeal is the premise. Psychological questions it raises, ethical debates, holistic action, possible futuristic setting make this a must-see in my opinion. Certainly not for everyone. Intelligent anime for those who appreciate for this sort that show. P.S. The Basaki brothers who created the Matrix movies had largely credited the 1995 Ghost in the Shell movie as their inspiration. So there you go. Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, even the original, but standalone complex Ghost in the Shell is good.
Yeah, I do lean more towards the original Ghost in the Shell just because I watched that one when I was younger, so I have a nostalgia connection to it. But this newer one
Yeah,
is also good as well. And of course, there's also the live action movie if you decide you want to watch them too. So
yeah, Jennifer
it's just a strong staple.
Jennifer
Hmm?
Lopez. Who plays
No,
it?
Scarlett Johansson,
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Jennifer
Yeah,
Lopez. What?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm
We're
terrible
moving
at
on.
acting.
We're moving on.
Yeah, that's a good transition. Uh, episode uh, 19 on the list. The irresponsible Captain Tyler, 1993 to 1996, TV 14, adventure comedy, can't go wrong, 7.7 out of 10. This anime is better known as the inhospitable Captain Tyler, funnest sci-fi ever created. Lovable rogue Tyler is nothing short of hilarious goof who stumbles through life with what must be said, a lot of incredible luck. If you're a fan of a Southern Girlfriend anime, then look no further. Just watch the first episode. I guarantee you'll be in stitches and instantly hooked. It's a series that once you start it, you just have to finish it. 26 episodes of sheer brilliance.
don't know what these inflections are, but I like it. I actually haven't seen this one.
No.
Look, you're just gonna have to accept that, like, some of these, I just, like, I saw them and then I was like, maybe one day, and then just kept it moving. This was one
Just
of
take
those.
the million blows to the words that just felt out of your mouth. Ugh.
I'm sorry. I've seen
Blocking.
a good chunk of these, but some of them, some just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I don't even bother reading the description. If I just look at it, I'll be like, I'll come back to you. But it is highly rated. You heard it from our MC's own mouth. Give it a watch. And it's also, what, 26 episodes? You can kill that in a day.
Exactly. Oh gosh. Number 18, Death Note, 2006, 2007, TV 14, crime and drama, 9 out of 10. Very few get that to the heart. Finally settled where to place this anime. Most of you will be like, why so low? I can't go into elaborate details since I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, of course. So what are the good points? Well, it's gripping, thrilling. However, most people watch it, they tend to judge it. All these stages, note all the flaws. Let's just say a certain character left the series and was replaced with two mediocre characters. The show went greatly downhill. That's just my view anyway. However, I can't deny the popularity and success of the series. 2/3, in my opinion, are the best. By far its best. It's quality suspense thriller and, in my opinion, worthwhile viewing. If you haven't seen it, you must be living on a rock. Check it out, see what the fuss is all about. Definitely.
This concludes another episode of MC Anime Podcast. MC Anime Podcast is available on podcast directories like Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. We also have our website at mcanimepodcast.com. If you want to directly support us, then follow Patreon blog MC Anime. Finally, if you want services for hire, then we're available on Fiverr for audio and video production, graphic design, idea consulting, and blog and article writing.